So I have 10 minutes left of your time to talk to you guys about BAINES. I'm going to talk to you about that, and then I will give you guys time to ask me questions and answers. So the BAINES system, it is the new, I hope, approach to education. We have a new type of generation coming up in our society. And we really, if you look at the brain and the body and the connection, the BAINES system meets everybody's needs, right? So you look at behavior, aspirations, interests, exercise, nutrition, and sleep. When you think about all of those, they affect every facet of your life, right? You don't eat well. I don't know about you, but I can get pretty hangry when I haven't eaten. You have a kid that can't verbally tell you that they're hungry, and you look at them and they're like a hot mess. Hey, did you eat today? Or just pull a snack out of your pocket. I don't know about you, but I had that with my kids on chairlifts. Sleep. If I'm tired, man, am I cranky. Or I don't respond enough. I see that smile. Two of my team is back there for me tonight. Exercise, increase endorphins, right? So you have those kids that feel super stressed out. They go and work out, or they go for a walk, go in the woods. They instantly feel happy. I work with a couple kids that if I take them outside and let them be outside for a good half hour before we do work, it's amazing. I worked at a school out on Shabig Island, and I couldn't believe they had 45-minute recess in the morning, and then they had an hour recess in the afternoon. Those kids got all their work done. I never saw one kid not be able to focus, right? It blew my mind, and they don't have that much recess anymore, I don't think, because they realized how much time was not being focused on academics. But there were kids there that had ADHD. You would have never known, because moving their body had such a huge effect. We have kids in this school that can move their body as much as they want. So this approach provides a 360-degree view of the whole child, ensuring balanced development in their internal well-being and external motivation. So it focuses on the internal and external. I don't know if any of you have kids in here that have IEPs. Just show of hands. Yeah. An IEP does not look at that. You make assumptions of what you think is going to work, right? But do you ever take into consideration, how are they feeling? Have they slept? Are they tired? Do they just need a few extra moments to sleep in the morning? How fast are they eating in school? They have 15 minutes, right? Have they even asked the child what their goals are? We build an IEP based on what we think is most important, not what is actually important. And if you looked at children in this lens, you would have a profound difference in self-esteem, motivation, the act of maybe actually liking to learn. I can't say how many kids I see in my practice that hate school. You're life learners. How can you hate learning? We're doing a huge deficit. And this process enables us to look at all those pieces. So the whole process of BAINES system is to integrate framework, so we have assessments that look at all these areas, and build personalized strategies on how to help them. All right, so I look at behavior. Johnny is having full-on outbursts during transitions. All right, well, what's going on during those transition times? Is there too many transitions within the day? Is there something that we can do to help with those transitions, right? And those are things that you can look at. Is the hardest transition in the morning or in the afternoon? Are they going home and having a harder transition home because they've kept it in all day? So really digging into some of those pieces, right? And designing a meticulous program just for them, right? And I think if we spend more time looking at the whole body and the whole child, we wouldn't need as many IEPs. That's just my own soapbox, sorry. The evaluation of BAINES for executive functioning. It enhances focus and attention. Goes into that sleep, nutrition, right? If you aren't sleeping and you aren't eating, really hard to stay focused, right? Are you having a lot of stress at home, right? That stress tolerance. If you are studying for midterms, or you got to go for some other type of test, or you're failing your grades, whatever it is, right? You're not going to sleep. You're going to be wide awake, right? So how do you work on those skills? Strengthen organization and time management. That goes back to looking at those behaviors, but also, what's your aspirations? What do you want to do? Let me help you figure that out, right? And your interests, okay, you're not sure? Well, let's see, your aspirations might help us figure out what you're interested in. I had a client sit with me the other day, and they're like, I'm interested in so many things, I have no idea what direction to go to. All right, that's something I can work with. Improve emotional regulation and self-esteem. That goes back into, how's your body feeling? You exercising? That endorphins, right? That serotonin level goes right up, right? I don't know about you, but I used to be a runner, can't run anymore, but I would go for those long runs. My husband would leave a little water bottle in my mailbox because I would do a 10-mile run. I would feel on like a high, right? And I might have been so angry, right? Or frustrated, right? And you come back and you feel really good. So what are these kids doing? Are they not moving their bodies enough here? So effective coping mechanisms to stress. If you don't teach your kid how to cope with stress, how are they supposed to cope with stress? Look at yourself. How do you cope with stress? You're mirroring that to them, right? You're mirroring that. And it's not your fault. I do the same thing. But how do you help your child cope with stress? Because they have it. They also have it because they watch you and they love you. Right? So making sure that you know how to help with that. And the BAINES system does that. We look at the whole child, the whole family, right? Because it's all interconnected. Identifying and utilizing strengths. We live in a society where we just look at the negatives. Every one of your kids has strengths. Probably more strengths than weaknesses. It's how you look at it. But they also have to feel and know that they have strengths. We are really quick on pointing out, man, you didn't do that, right? Or, I'm not a good reader, school's just hard for me, right? Okay, well, you are probably, might be amazing at building Legos. I stink at building Legos, but I just watched my daughter build a 1,000-piece set of Legos, and I'm fascinated on how she did that, right? That's a strength. So really, really pointing those out for them. And then enhancing problem-solving skills, improving decision-making and planning. That goes back to that whole system. If your body isn't in alignment, if your brain and body are not connected, how do you function properly, right? I'm huge on boosting my kids' confidence, right? They work so hard at just being kids. And then they get to be adults, and as an adult, you work even harder, right? So making sure they feel confident. It breaks my heart how many kids I see in my office that come in and their self-esteem is so low. Because if you have an IEP, you know how much testing it goes on, right? You know how many times they've been pulled out of a classroom. They know that they're different than their peers. That affects their self-esteem right at the beginning, right? And that momentum builds and builds and builds. I'm not a good reader. I have dyslexia, right? Now I'm labeled with something, right? All of these things just kind of deplete them, right? So finding things that boost their confidence. School might be hard, but you're an amazing athlete, right? School might be hard, but look what you can do with animals, right? Or finding ways within the school day to build their confidence. Let them teach something. I learned a ton from my students, so much. And then the last is how to improve your executive functioning skills with BAINES. Healthy foods, sleep routine, I cannot mention that enough. Breaking tasks down, set daily and weekly goals. It goes back to that SMART goal. SMART goals are important. Weekly goals. Don't wait until New Year's resolution, right? How many of us 2 weeks later, oh, I already broken, had my glass of wine, right? So you sit back and you're like, I'll start next year, right? So weekly goals. All right, this week I'm going to take Brutus, my dog, for an extra walk because he really needs it. He's been putting on a little bit of weight, right? Something small like that, right? 2, I am going to build these skills so in a year from now I can do whatever that is, right? Just start small. Start small and the momentum just keeps coming. Making time for relaxation. I don't know about you, but that is so hard for me. So hard for me. So I have started to do art on Saturdays. I do art at the table with my kids, and I might only do it for an hour, but it's my 1 hour of relaxation, right? Trying to find time where you don't have to think about work. You don't have to think about all the things that are going on with your kids, your husband, your family, right? It's just time to just be focusing on you, whatever that is. I did it. It's 7. Were you timing me?
Hi, this is Jessica, and I would like to thank you for watching. I do hope you found it helpful to your life situation. If you ever wish to talk about our wild programs, please reach out by contacting me through my email address or our contact form on our website. I do hope you are having a wonderful day.